Everyone who's tried doing accounting with ChatGPT knows it's too inconsistent to be trusted with financials. When it comes to money, accuracy matters. You definitely don't want to send customers a list of invoices that aren't real or that show incorrect amounts. For those who wish they could harness the power of ChatGPT for accounting, here's a tip that will greatly improve your results. I came across a Reddit post where a user wanted to create a report that groups invoices like this, showing line items with tags, a totals column, and a subtotal row. QuickBooks doesn't offer this kind of reporting, and I imagine there are countless users with reporting needs that QuickBooks doesn't cover. This is the use case I'll use for our example. The first thing I did was use RIA, the reporting GPT by Books Commander, to pull customer invoice data from QuickBooks. Using a GPT like this lets you pull the data directly. After a few tries, I got the GPT to produce an Excel file that I was happy with. It's nearly impossible to get ChatGPT to generate a consistently formatted Excel file just using plain English prompting alone. Here's one method I've used to overcome that shortcoming. I copied the query RIA used to pull the data from QuickBooks. I also copied the function she used to format the Excel file. Then I built a custom GPT and integrated the query and formatting function into its instructions. Now, this GPT gives me the exact prompt to send to RIA, so the data comes back consistently. It also formats the data into the Excel file I want. Since we're asking it to perform a function, I'll enable code interpreter and data analysis. Here's what the workflow looks like in ChatGPT. First, I bring my custom GPT and ask it for the prompt. Second, I call RIA, the reporting GPT, and ask her to run the prompt. The prompt is basically asking her to return data from QuickBooks. Finally, I bring back the custom GPT and ask it to format the report. By asking the GPT to generate the Excel file using a function, we've increased the odds that it'll be able to reproduce the report successfully every time we ask it to do so. I ran this experiment 11 times. In every case, the reporting GPT returned the correct data and the custom GPT converted it into a correctly formatted Excel file. Here I've opened all the output files. Let's review them one by one. As you can see, all the files contain the same data in the same format. In this walkthrough, I've shown that it's possible to get consistent results from ChatGPT by breaking the process into smaller steps and using different GPTs when needed. Right now, this kind of approach is probably best suited for power users who are comfortable experimenting and reviewing the results carefully. Even though I was able to run this process 11 times without errors, hallucinations are still possible and manual review is absolutely required. My question is, are there any use cases where you might consider using this in your workflow? Would you trust it for low-risk tasks that you plan to review anyways? And what strategies would you use to help ensure the results are accurate?